I hated this when I got it. I really didn't like it. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 best Louis Vuitton SLGs or small leather goods in my collection. These are SLGs and small leather goods that I have, that I own, that I use on a daily basis, and I'm going to talk to you today about why these 5 are the best out of my whole collection, why they work for me, why I think they're the best, and if this hopefully can give you some information if you're looking to buy any of these as to why these are the top 5 for me. Now, I had planned this video before the very recent and very not insignificant Louis Vuitton price increases. So when I go through these 5, I'm going to touch on the current price that they are now and whether or not that's impacted what I think, and if I think there are maybe any alternatives that might be useful for you that you could consider instead of these given the current prices. Now, let's get started. And number 1, these 5, by the way, are not in any particular order. These are just the top 5 for me out of all of my SLGs. And number 1 is still the 4-ring key holder. I have talked about this in my most used Louis Vuitton SLG videos since I started making them. This is just so good for me. It keeps my keys in order. I can be guilty of throwing things into my handbag. So at least when I'm throwing this into my handbag, I'm not throwing these little pointy things, the bottoms of the keys, into maybe fabric lined or leather lined handbags that could get damaged. That keeps them all together. I don't have to work. This is easier to spot. Keys lying I'm looking at the Neverfull down here because it's sitting down here. That's what I take to work on a daily basis, filled with lots of stuff. Rubbish sometimes. But these being thrown in, I can find this a lot easier than I can find my keys at the bottom of the bag. Even though I have an organiser, sometimes I still just throw the stuff in. This for me, definitely. 1, finding it in that bag. 2, keeping all the keys together so I know where they are. 3, not damaging the inside of bags. But also for me, the 4-ring, because I don't have 6 keys, actual keys that I need. These 4 all fit into this, and then this works better in mini bags. As you can see behind me, I really like mini bags, even if the big bag trend comes back. I like small bags. I'm going to keep using them. So this takes up less space than the 6-ring key holder. The only thing I'll say about the 6-ring is if you have a need for it, you can fit a credit card in this slot behind the keys in the 6-ring. You can't in the 4-ring. But for me, absolutely love this, and even at today's price, I think it's up around 180 or 185 pounds. I still think this is worthwhile. I still think for me it's one of my best SLGs. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure you could find a key holder that's a lot less money than this, but I'm talking specifically if you're looking for Louis Vuitton SLGs. Is it worth it? Worth is relative. For the price, for me, yes, still one of my best. Number 2 on my best SLGs from Louis Vuitton. I hated this when I got it. I really didn't like it. I thought I thought I'd been sold a dream that was a nightmare, and I talked about that a lot. Now I love it. Now, if you watched my recent review of this for over a year of usage, you will know there is a problem with the glazing here, and it is starting to lift and peel, and I am going to take that back to Louis Vuitton. I did mention in that video that I could pull it off, and one of my lovely loyal subscribers went, "No, don't peel the glazing, don't, you silly woman." So I'm going to take it back because I do think that glazing lifting there is a little bit of a worry, and there's also a little bit back here. This doesn't bother me as much. This, I think you can see it if I tilt it there. This I think is really from usage, but that glazing peeling I think does need to be looked at. That being said, and I will link that review because if you're considering this, it's a very honest review of exactly the wear and tear on this after using it every day for more than a year and using it without care really and putting a lot of stuff into it. I still love this. This is one of my favourites. Now, I have attached this little wristlet and I'll link it down below because it's only about £6 or £7 from Amazon. There is no real wear on this, and this gets used every time I've used this, and I got into a habit of just lifting this and running, say to the garage or the shop or going in to grab lunch and not taking a bag. Now with the way the world is, and there's still a lot less face-to-face meetings, face-to-face lunches, I am in my office a lot more and I'm not taking, say, a small bag to go for lunch or whatever. I'm just grabbing this, and now that I have swapped out of this, and I did say in that review video I was going to swap out of this, do need that glazing looked at. I miss this. I know it's something very simple, but I actually miss this little wristlet being attached to this and being able to carry it that way. So this is £415 presently. When I bought it, it was 400, so it hasn't actually gone up that much. £400 was already a lot of money for effectively a card holder or a purse, but I really, really like it. I think it's something that I would consider a different version of. It's a new style for me. I was always a wallet person, and then or a very small card holder for mini bags. I really like the men's version of this, the long. Cassie Thorpe has the yellow. I really liked the bright pink when it came out, but I missed it. There's a red coming. Maybe, I'm not sure if that's the colour that I would want, but it's longer and it has the same, it's reminiscent of this, and I like it, and I think you could probably put one of these on it as well. But this is number 2, and I just love this little guy. Number 3, sticking with card holders, is this. Now, this one is one of my top 5, this specific one, because I love the colour and the print of this one. I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you, what the print is, or whether or not you go for a leather one or a traditional canvas one. I know Bestie has the, what does he have? He has the monogram, but the Mono, or is it Heritage Collection now, that has his initials on it, and he uses it. The reason this is one of my top 5 is going back to the mini bags. I use so many small bags or mini bags. Whenever I am using them, all I use is a flat card holder. I put my bank card in, whatever card I need, and I put it in there to take up as little space as possible. It's so thin, and I find this just works so well for me in keeping the space in there. I don't tend to use this whenever I'm using the Neverfull, because that would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. I'm going to just show you. It's a disgrace. There's an organiser in there that I'm blatantly ignoring and just throwing everything into the middle. There's wires, there's everything in there. This would get lost. Even you can see with the organiser, if I used it properly and kept everything in its slots, this would probably be okay. But the way I use that, no. So for mini bags, but it's fabulous for mini bags, definitely number 3 for me. This is where we get controversial. That card holder, I think, is still around about a plain canvas one, maybe 160-ish type pounds. I probably would still buy that, to be honest with you. I am a Louis Vuitton lover, and if you wanted to be in Louis Vuitton canvas, I think compared to their prices relative, I probably still would buy it. You can obviously get card holders at better prices. If I have time, I will link down below some alternatives to these and these to give you an idea of what I would think of as an alternative. I had a Louis Vuitton card holder. I had this one. This little Lulu Guinness one, which I think is about £50 maybe. I'll check if I can find it. And I used this so much in smaller bags before I had the Louis Vuitton one. They both do the same job. I personally like Louis Vuitton. I like their canvas. I like their prints. But they do the same job. And this one's maybe Louis Vuitton's maybe slightly longer, that one was slightly higher, but I used this an awful lot before I had this. Sidetrack there, sorry. Back to number 4, and this is probably going to be controversial, and the reason it's going to be controversial is the recent price increase, and this is the mini Pochette. Before the recent price increase, this was already on my list to do for the top 5 in my collection, and it probably still is the top 5 in my collection because I bought this at about £180 some time ago. It is now £515. I am not sure, if I'm honest with you, I am not sure that I would still buy this at £515. It is effectively a pouch. I'll show you how I use it. I have had a request with the price increase to show how I do use this, and I will do that because I think it might be helpful for people wondering if this is now worth that sort of money. It's a little pouch and it's £515. That is not a huge amount off. Even all the canvas bags went up. That's the problem. It's a lot of money for this, I think. I use this today. What you'll see I'm using it for is I'm using it for makeup. I don't always carry makeup with me. Hence why this you will see quite a lot as a mini catch-all. You will see a small calculator in it, you'll see pens in it, you'll see plasters, migraine tablets, cards, that sort of thing. Today it has in it lipstick, it has this little Chanel mirror, which anybody again that likes small bags, this is fabulous because it's so thin. takes up so little space. My brother bought me this for Christmas, and it has been fabulous for small spaces. It has the Charlotte Tilbury makeup, which I absolutely love in it, and it has the little brush that goes with it, and that's what I'm using that for today in one of my handbags. Does that need to be a £515 pouch? Questionable. You can put a crossbody strap. It does have this on it, but it's a lot of money for what it is. For me personally, it's still in my top 5 because I use it so much. I also use the Toiletry 15. This probably peaks the Toiletry 15 because today, for example, when I was taking a different bag that wasn't the Never Full and I chose one of them, I chose this because it's slightly slimmer in the way that it fits in the bag. And I chose that over the 15, which is probably why I'm coming down on this one. I will have a look to see. Before I had this, I had an Orla Keeley pouch that, again, my brother bought me. And I used it to death until the zip actually split in it. And then I got this as replacement. If I can find some pouches that I like that are more reasonable alternative versions to this, I'll link them down below. Now, number 5 in my top 5 is the key clay. And this one can be controversial. I watched a video from Ash very recently, Ash A Luxe new YouTube channel. He has been a fabulous supporter of mine for some time. He is very intelligent whenever it comes to luxury fashion. Check out his channel and his viewpoint. I just really enjoy listening to him. I also enjoy interacting with him on Instagram. Check out his channel if you have a chance. But he recently spoke about this, as did Lumi Level Up. Actually, I watched the video that Lumi Level Up put out, Mary put out on her channel as well about this, and they were talking about whether or not this is a disappointment. So if you're interested in this, to get a view that isn't just mine, I would check out both Mary's channel and Ash's channel, and you will hear their view on what they think of this little tiny key clay. They have a different view from me, which is very, very healthy. So I would say before you buy it, check theirs out as well. For me, this is one of my top 5, and the reason this is one of my top 5 is because it's so thin and so narrow. You'll see a bit of a theme here. A lot of the SLGs that work for me are SLGs that work in very small bags, and they work whenever I need to have a little neat catch-all, say, or a neat card holder fitting in. So what I have in here, this was in, coincidentally, the same handbag that I had today with this. So this became the makeup, and this became the mini little catch-all. And we have in here migraine tablets. I try not to go anywhere without migraine tablets. My migraines are so bad I'll actually get anxious if I don't have any on me. I have my, I really need to get AirPods. I have my trusty wire headphones that came free with an old iPhone. I have some loyalty cards, I have some cash, I have some hair grips, and I have a bank fob, and that is all in here. I did also earlier have in this, but I took it out when I came home, a little tiny perfume sample as well. Reason I like this is it keeps all those bits and pieces together in my bag, because although that Never Full wouldn't let you know, that's different, that goes to work. In these bags that are used generally as going out bags, I like them to be pretty neat inside, and that's because the space is very limited. I like this because it can be a mini catch-all. It catches that bit of cash, hair ties, plasters, tablets that need to go in. It also, I put the perfume sample in there because if there's any leakage or spillage, it's not inside one of my bags. And I just like how they fit in here. This doesn't take up that much room. You can put some cash in it as well, and you can slip that into the bag, and it works. And that's why this is one of my top 5. Now, bestie, for any of my male viewers that are looking at it from a different viewpoint, he has 3 SLGs that he uses religiously. One of them is the mini pocket organizer. He uses that almost like a wallet. One of them is his card holder, which he has his initials on it. He uses it traditionally like a flat card holder. And he has this, and he uses this as the traditional key holder. So he has his card fob and his keys in this. I think his is the Damier Eclipse, or the black and grey version, and he uses that on a daily basis. He also has a key holder that he uses for his work keys, but this I think is probably the one that he would prefer if he had to come down between the two that he has, and they for him are used every single day. Those are the top 5 out of my Louis Vuitton SLGs. I have had a request to do an updated SLG or small leather good collection video. I will get that done. I just need to get the time, but I will get that done. Those are my top 5. I hope for anybody that is interested in any of these discussions have been helpful or useful. I will try to remember to link down below the alternatives and the bits and pieces I'm talking about, and also the other channels that I have mentioned. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for being here. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.